Hi there, folks, and welcome back to my Jedi Knight storyline walkthrough of Star Wars The Old Republic. It's a brand new day. I needed a break. I did something ridiculous, probably to the tune of 20 videos yesterday on the different quest lines, and that's me guessing. Today we're back, and today we are heading from Quesh to Hoth. The next two planets are two that I really like getting through as fast as possible, to be perfectly honest. Hoth and Belsavis both are very large planets with a lot of ground to cover. And so, really, if you can be in a time just like this, where it's double experience, you have experience buffs going for your character class storylines, then do that, to get through this planet as quickly as possible.
This is Jedi Knight Leeha Nareez. Please identify.
Master Tol Braga sent me to help you.
I already received word of your success on Balmorra. Glad you're here. As if Hoth wasn't hostile enough, I'm contending with the Empire and White Maw pirates of all things.
What could pirates and Imperials possibly want here?
Hoth's one of the largest starship graveyards in the galaxy. During the war, there was a massive battle in orbit. Dozens of vessels crashed to the surface. Because of the freezing cold, they've remained well preserved. Some are almost intact.
Our objective's in that starship graveyard, isn't it?
One of the crash vessels contained a full technical readout of the Emperor's fortress.
A map of the bad guy's house. Nice.
One of the Empire's top scientists during the war upgraded the fortress's defenses. He was the only non-Sith to ever see the inside. The technical readouts were lost when the scientists crashed here. His shipwreck has never been found.
We're not gonna just dig in the snow and hope for the best, are we?
No. Your job is to clear the way once I know where we're going. Those technical readouts are critical to infiltrating the Emperor's fortress. We will not fail. I'm headed for the main Republic base.
That's such a weird little aside from T7.
Leeha Nareez.
It's kind of like, hey, remember that I'm here. I'm part of the crew. Use me. Alright. So, we're going to go down to the surface of Hoth. Hoth is quite cold, obviously, if you've paid attention to any of the movies. But, thankfully, there's no, like, blizzard or weather effects that affect you on this planet. You can come down there, you don't need any special gear or anything like that. Although, they will give you a few items if you talk to the right people, but it doesn't really make a difference. Some games like to use, the weather and climate effects to affect your character for while you're on that, area. And I really like that. I mean, sometimes that really immerses you into the atmosphere of the planet. However, with this, I'm kind of glad that they didn't. There's kind of enough to deal with on Hoth as it is. It's just really a big, white, empty version of Tatooine, which just means there's a lot of ground to cover between objectives, and that just eats away at your time. The good thing about Hoth is, what is good about Hoth? Let me think about that. I know I had something in mind when I started that sentence, but now I'm not sure where I was going with it. I guess if there's one good thing about Hoth, it's very nostalgic, and interestingly enough, even though everything seems to be one universal color, it's pretty amazing what they did to vary up the different zones. So, they have this one area with this gigantic crystal tower and spire that is pretty cool to see, and you can, kind of imagine what it'd be like to be at the top of the thing. But on the flip side, it's really hard to make an ice planet interesting. So, props to them for trying. Alright, here we go. Nice little note, you can ride your speeder through this base. Oop, let's take this message. Must be important.
Sorry I couldn't meet you. We've got a full-scale Imperial invasion on our hands. They caught us by surprise.
Tell me your position. I'll come to you.
Because I am a man of
defending
action.
a forward outpost, but our support team is pinned down closer to you. I'm sending the coordinates now. You're looking for a detachment from the 301st Infantry led by Sergeant Rusk. His squad is being overrun by Imperial probe droids.
Sergeant Rusk must be really important because they named him by name.
I'll find your friends. A few probe droids shouldn't pose much of a threat.
These droids are set to rush targets and explode when they get close enough.
Have to hand it to the Empire. When it comes to killing people, they're innovators.
Sergeant Rusk has vital information we need. I'm counting on you to keep him and his men alive. May the Force be with you.
Any of you who have been watching this video series up to this point and are fairly savvy might start getting the clue that Rusk is, you know, one of those people who are likely to become a companion character. You know, when you first play through this game and you're not really sure which characters you meet maybe have the option to be a companion, you start thinking like, oh gee, I should be nice to everybody, because you just never know. And then, after you've been through the game once or twice, and you know where all that, who all the companions are going to be, and everybody else is running around with them too, you know, then there's a little bit less surprise. I actually kind of would have loved if you could have chosen who your companions would be through the quest line. I think that would have been terrific. Because there's definitely some people that I'm like, I would not have taken you on my crew if I had a choice. I would have loved to have taken maybe this other side character, though, on this planet instead, like a quest giver, or, you know, maybe somebody who was, you know, a peripheral agent, you know, to what it is that you're doing. You know, that just would have been really cool. But they didn't do it that way, so you do kind of make the best of what you got. And sometimes that ain't so bad either. Now, this planet, guys, I can't even tell you the enormous size of everywhere you have to run on here. So if you look on this map, you can see where this door is. I'm actually going to pause, get there, and then I'm going to go ahead and continue the video. Alright folks, so we're right outside the quest objective, and just as a note, if you are coming from the speeder point that I came to, Outpost Quesh, you can't make just a straight beeline. There's a ginormous cliff there, and you don't necessarily have to take the whole road over. You can kind of do a shimmy and cut. One of the things I do is I like to come down some of the shorter cliff faces. So just kind of keep that in mind, though. I'm still trying to go for this like deathless run of leveling all the way from 1 to 65. So, you know, I'm kind of being very sensitive about, you know, where those cliff facings are.
Jerk.
And I have to admit that one was kind of close. Hoth. Yeah, I keep forgetting I now have saber throw back. I'm gonna start using that again. These guys are hitting pretty nice. And I'm gonna give you guys a general note too. In the 30s to 40s, all of a sudden, the roles that you play, tank, DPS, and healer, start becoming more, what's the word I'm looking for? More deep. You know, up to this point, you don't really have a lot to do with either one of those three branches, or, you know, they all kind of look the same. All of a sudden, those classes, those roles get much deeper, and the bad guys around you start hitting way harder. It's a really strange process. It's like there's an invisible line you cross, and the reason that's in there was because in the vanilla game, that's when you would start really needing people to dive into their roles while you're doing flashpoints and get better at what it is that they do and be more specific about it. And so even on planets, you're going to notice all of a sudden it's like, man, it seems like somebody flipped a switch, and all of a sudden now everybody seems to be hitting really hard, and maybe you need to switch your companion over to just be a healer almost full time. You know, don't be surprised if that does happen. That transition happens around the 30s level. And of course, right after I say that, we do like a pristine kill. Alright, and here's Rusk. Let's talk to him. This is never a good sign. Lots of soldiers down.
Leeha Nareez sent
One
me.
dude left standing.
Looks like I got here just in time.
No worries, Master Jedi. I was prepared to hold this position indefinitely. Sergeant Fiddleton Rusk, 301st Infantry. My squad's at
That's
your
such
service.
a terrible first name.
Squad.
Oh, I
We're all
forgot
that's
about that.
We're a squad until I say otherwise, Private. Now on your feet.
Your man's in need of a Kolto tank.
You're a squad of one, Sergeant.
He can hold a rifle. That's all the mission requires.
Cause grrr, I'm
Objective is to secure
hardcore.
Imperial survey maps of the Starship Graveyard. Target achieved. Imperial counterattackers pursued us here. Squad fatalities, 66.4%. Enemy fatalities, 100%.
Hang on. I'm picking up a fresh wave of probe droids outside. They're headed this way.
Keep him alive. I'll handle the droids myself.
Get behind me, Private.
Thank you,
Alright.
sir.
And don't
Here they
forget,
come.
these are the suicidal droids, so if you are playing this, just keep in mind you don't want these things to get close. And obviously, of course, we're playing a Jedi Knight, so that's the range we play in. There we go. So play with your range a little bit. Try to use things like Blade Storm, which kind of give you a little bit of distance. Force Sweep, same thing. Let your companion finish them off if they
Enemy
need to.
fatalities, 100%. You can come out now, Private.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank this Jedi for doing your job, soldier.
Because, grr, I'm hardcore.
Sergeant, evacuate your man to a medical facility.
These are the Imperial survey maps of the Starship Graveyard. Leeha Nareez wants to see them. I'll return to base and reconstitute my squad. We'll meet you at our coordinates ASAP. Stay sharp out there.
Alright, let's take this telecall and then I'll chat about Rusk a little bit.
This is General Callan Grain, Republic High Command. I just arrived from
Grizzles.
Quite a mess down there. I'm told you commandeered some men from the 301st Infantry for your classified operation. The Imperial
By the way, this is one of my
left us
favorite
in
moments in the
bad
Jedi Knight
shape.
storyline because the
They've been
voice
scratching
actor
your back.
for
Now we need a favor.
General Grain is the same one who did the voice of Roy Campbell in Metal Gear Solid games. And then the voice of the Jedi Knight is David Hayter, the guy who played Snake. And so this like this interaction here, I'm like, what? Having like a Metal Gear Solid flashback. It's kind of nice.
The Jedi are always willing and ready to assist you.
Scout teams detected several Imperial weapon platforms under construction in the ice fields near our base. If the enemy sets artillery that close, they can shoot down our shuttles.
What's a Russian
I
gunship
need you
doing
to
here?
destroy those weapon
That's all I can hear in my head.
platforms. Now.
I love this.
I'll move
we'll
out
just
immediately.
do it.
Where am I going?
You're receiving coordinates to the Imperial
A lot of people don't
weapon
realize the
platforms
Jedi
now.
Knight's voice actor is David
Good luck.
Hayter
General
because he
Grain out.
speaks in his just normal voice for the Jedi Knight. If you've heard him speak in his normal voice, then you recognize it almost instantly. He usually does a little bit of a kind of a gravel when he does the voice of Snake. So happen to love that little interaction there for that little bit. All right, gotta pause for just a sec. All right, so Sergeant Rusk. How does one describe this exactly? All right, first I'm gonna get out of here, but as I go, let me just talk a little bit about Sergeant Rusk and that type character. So if you're a Jedi, either a consular or a knight, at some point you will pick up a companion whose alignment is dark side or ruthless. It's hard to say. In BioWare's games, that can be a little tricky, but for the most part, I would definitely say that, you know, when you get a guy like Rusk that like win at any cost, it feels a little bit more like Mass Effect, where you have Paragon versus Renegade choices, and he feels like he'd be, you know, Renegade. You know, we must win at any cost, have to do this thing, blah, 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 blah. No surrender, no retreat, don't care about feelings, you know, we just got to get the job done. And so that's Rusk in a nutshell, and every light side character gets somebody on their crew that fits that bill at some point. So for the Jedi Knight, it's Rusk. For the Consular, it's a guy named Zenith. And conversely, if you play dark side characters, every dark side character, or excuse me, every Sith and Imperial character, I should say that, because you can play a Sith or Imperial as light side, but every Sith and Imperial character eventually gets a light side alignment companion as well. So if you play, say, the Bounty Hunter, Mako, for the most part, is fairly light side. She tends to value profit and money, but, you know, does not like, you know, mercilessness most of the time. There's a few options where she doesn't mind it, but most of the time she's pretty light side. If you play, say, a Sith Sork, you know, or an Assassin, which is, you know, the two advanced classes of that same thing. What you may find is that you get the companion Ashara Zavros, and even though she becomes your apprentice, she still is fairly light side. You know, she likes light side options. Same thing Sith Warrior with Vet. Vet likes light side options as well for the most part. And so you kind of get a choice here on when you're shaping your character. What kind of companion is your character going to like? Jedi Knight's pretty lucky. He gets Kira Carson and T7 early on. They're both very, very light side aligned. So if you're making those light side choices of let's save this life or be merciful or do these things, typically they're pretty much on board with that. But guys like Rusk are available in case you want to go the other way and have a guy next to you who's like, totally down for those decisions and saying like, that's a good idea, sir, you know, you absolutely should wreck that guy's day, you know, because, you know, of how horrible this person was. So, you know, you might want to play with that. If you're playing a character who, you know, you want to make much more ruthless, then guys like Russ actually become a pretty viable companion option. Oh man, I'm going down in a bad way if all these guys catch up. Yikes. Okay, we made it. You know, so just kind of keep that in mind. You know, if you're not liking the companion that you're with, or you feel like you're sucking up to them a lot, and you don't like the way that's actually shaping your character, because you're trying to gain influence with that particular character. And by the way, influence, good or bad, adds to the influence rating of your character. So if I'm making decisions that she hates, I'll still be gaining influence with her. I just won't be gaining quite as much. So, you know, keep that in mind. You can still keep Kira Carson around even if you're making decisions she doesn't like. That's a change that they made in this game, which has been really good. Oh, I am so dead. Alright, I'm gonna cross over here and outrun a bunch of these guys, and then I'll double back. Really, I'm not paying attention. I'm talking way too much. There we go. Ooh, that was kind of nice and close. Imperial bases, man. Love them or hate them. Sometimes I luck out and there's other players on who have just crossed through that area, but not this time. I'm actually going to go the long way around this way and avoid all that hassle. Let's see if they put anybody here. Nope. Looking good. One good thing about Hoth, there is a lot of space, so you do get some, you know, wide angles here to maneuver around. So anyway, point being, you know, guys, just kind of expect that you're going to get a wide variety of companions coming your way, and eventually you're going to get some that either you love or maybe you hate. You know, there's some that maybe are even a little bit in between, but it gets to be up to you to decide which ones you kind of want to keep around, and you know, you may want to make switches. Honestly, I like having Kira Carson out because she's always kind of my constant love interest on Jedi Knight. But, you know, if you're playing a female tune, then that's not really an option. You may want to choose, you know, T7, because T7 is just kind of adorable in that puppy dog sort of way. You might want to choose Rusk, because maybe if you're playing a dark side character, it's kind of fun to have somebody who runs around disagreeing with all the horrible decisions that you make towards how you treat people. You know, it's up to you. No real right way or wrong way to play the game. Ultimately, what it really comes down to is, you know, do I need a character with ranged abilities? Do I need them with, you know, melee abilities? Do I need them to heal, tank, or DPS? And, you know, do I like my relationship with this companion? Alright, let's take this call. Let's see what's next.
Scouts report the Imperial artillery teams are retreating. Nice work. I have a feeling I'll need you again before this is over. Hope you're planning to stick around.
If I can be of further assistance, don't hesitate to contact me.
I just keep waiting to hear him say Colonel.
General Grain out.
Alright, man, one more step to Suicide Squads. We gotta go talk to Leeha Nareez, and she is now at the next base at Outpost Quesh, so I'm gonna go ahead and warp over there. Thank goodness for quick travel, man. This planet is just ginormous. I really don't know what BioWare was thinking, making this planet so titanically large. And if you notice too, on the planet map, the Republic will pretty much move left to right on the northern half, and then you'll have the Imperials, they'll start on the lower half. I mean, and this planet is just ridiculous to get through. It's like this gigantic white, empty nothing. Yeah, obviously it's not my favorite planet. If you are wondering what my favorite planet is, I lean towards Voss.
I have the Imperial survey maps of the starship
We'll see that in a
graveyard.
bit.
I understand Sergeant Rusk's squad paid dearly for these. BD-1, please analyze the maps. Find any profile that matches a Pythar-class Imperial shuttlecraft. The Medes are pleased to meet you. They're great fans of yours.
Hello there, my little friends.
Aw, you've got your own booster club. Good for you.
Ever since I built the Medes, I've been teaching them Jedi history, philosophy, everything. Someday, the Medes will prove that even droids can use the Force.
If a droid became Force sensitive, that would be extraordinary.
The Council
That would be
doesn't
pretty
believe me,
awesome.
but I think it's already
And
happened
overpowered
more
as
than
hell,
once.
but
Throughout
pretty
history,
cool too.
Certain droids have achieved well beyond their design limitations. I believe the Force is the answer. Droids who go long enough without memory wipes develop personalities. Couldn't they develop more than that?
I think you're onto something, Leeha.
You're the first member of our order
gonna
to
humor
admit
her.
the potential. Even Master Braga is skeptical.
A droid that could use the Force,
You
that
found
would be
something?
pretty something to see,
Let me
man.
see.
That would be pretty wild.
The Empire recently discovered a crash site matching the scientist vessel. Imperial
Gasp.
forces are excavating the wreck at an ice cavern nearby. We need to move fast, and we'll need reinforcements.
Tell our backup he needs to pull that new squad together yesterday.
I'll contact Sergeant
More
Rusk and inform him of
Expendables.
the situation. You and I will hit the
I
enemy
swear to
from
God,
two
it's like
directions.
Rusk leads a team of
I'll
red
enter the
shirts.
cavern at
It's
east
like every
end.
time they show
You
up,
go
it's
in
like
at this
everybody
entrance.
dies.
We'll meet in the middle.
I don't know if that just says
Don't
like
worry, Meaty.
Rusk is that tough,
The
or if he
Force
just
is
uses
with
his
us.
own men as a personal body
I'll see
shield.
you at the cavern.
Alright guys, that's the end of Suicide Squads. But bam, one down on Hoth, a few more to go. So if you guys are enjoying this series, please go ahead and like these videos and subscribe, and we'll see you